We are back with more on Leadership Matters. Delighted today to have Jacqueline Manley with us as we explore this topic of managing stress in the workplace, what leaders can do to stay fortified and protect their teams. So, Jacqueline, any non-obvious advice, but important to put on the radar screen that you might give us regarding stress?
I think leaders really underestimate how their energy sets the tone. I know from the beginning, I shared my story where I was clueless as to my energy because it was very normal for me. But your energy really sets the tone. Even if you're saying the right words, but your body language and the pace of which you communicate shows up in a different alignment, it can set a tone of a lot of anxiety and pushback. So you want to be aware, and that's really important. And having that leadership skill helps the team. Yeah.
Then Dr. Loretta, you want to jump in?
Okay. Well, we are asking all of our guests this one question. So if you could give your younger self one piece of leadership advice, what would it be?
Ooh, good question. I think it's me being aware of the stress. I think we normalize it, and I've normalized it to the fact that I don't necessarily recognize it where other people did. And I think that would be the advice, is to really pay attention and to know how I'm moving in the space that I move in, so I can recognize sooner, one, for myself, my own mental health and wellness, right? And so then I can also show up and be my best self for others.
Wonderful. Thank you. Dr.
Thank
Dre.
you.
Any one piece of advice, Jacqueline, you would give? I got to get this off my chest. I'm sorry. I just think leaders certainly experience stress, and you don't have to answer this, Jacqueline.
Right.
But I also think that I'm just stuck in thinking to myself, leaders need to share stress with the rest of the team. I don't know. That's just too much on a leader to manage and to deal with stress and not share that. We share the rewards with teams when we hit accomplishments. Maybe that's more for Dr. Loretta, Dr. Cheryl to be answering, because I'm sorry for going off script here, Jacqueline, but I'm thinking to myself, if I'm stressed as a leader, because leaders have a lot of stress, I need to share that stress. I need to let the team know, look, I'm stressed. I got a lot on my plate, a lot of pressure, and they need to feel a little bit of that. And I don't know if I'm wrong in being able to share that as a leader to the team, because I have done that in full transparency. So I don't know if I was wrong in doing that or not.
You were wrong and you should have gone to EAP.
Yes.
There you go. There you go. That's a good
That
one.
right there.
Go,
That's a
Dr.
good
Dr.
answer.
What were you going to say?
I think that was a great answer, because everyone's level of stress and their capacity of which they can handle the stress may differ. And so I think because of that, and we're no cookie cutter copy of one another, we have to really, in a workplace, know that we're a team and we want to operate from that space. And we wouldn't put, with, let's say, using baseball as a analogy, you wouldn't put the batter up that you cannot hit the ball out the park. And what we need when the bases are full, we need someone who's going to hit that ball, have a better chance of hitting that ball out of the park. And so we can say we can all hit the ball, but is their capacity to do it out of the park the same? And so we want to have people operate in a space of which they can really build up the team to make a home run.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank
I
you,
like
Dr.
that
Dre.
analogy.
And thank you, Jacqueline. If our listeners want to get in touch with you, how might they do so?
You can always reach me, I think, at jmanleyconsulting@gmail.com.
Okay. Wonderful. And final thoughts from Dr. Dre, Dr. Loretta, any final thoughts from
I
either?
am looking forward to the rest of the series this month on stress and leadership. I just think it's a timely discussion. And I think, you've heard me already express myself. I don't know. I think stress gets demonized a bit too much. I think there's a balance, obviously, but I also think that as a leader, if we share accomplishments, if we share hitting the goal, we should be sharing things like I'm stressed. I should be able to say I'm stressed. And then how does that manifest itself? How does that show? Is it okay for me to show my emotions as part of that process to say, hey, folks, I just need to vent. Is it okay for me to vent and yell and scream and cry and whatever it takes?
Dr.
I'm just looking
Loretta,
forward to
is
the
there like a
discussion.
room with a pad in there?
I know.
I'm just-
He is at another location right now. He hasn't
And
come home,
I
but I feel
started
like I
to
need to
count
say
how
something.
many times Dr. Dre said we should, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
what
The
he was
language.
saying, and that the language, it makes you
Mhm.
feel constricted and
Okay.
stressed. And so
Mhm.
what we're doing is
Mhm.
pushing that energy to others around us.
Right.
So yes, I could see why we wouldn't understand why other people shouldn't.
Mhm.
It's because I'm using language that is not going to allow
Mhm.
myself to be able to be calm in the environment.
Dr. Dre is our resident devil's advocate.
Oh, no,
Always.
I love it.
So,
no.
and I do agree that obviously, like literally, clinically, if there were no stress, we would be dead. Stress is how we respond to, is how our bodies and everything else responds to change. So, and that's always happening and going. So, yes, there's some positive elements to stress, and it's the dosage, right? Dr. Loretta, any final
Yeah.
thoughts?
Final thoughts. Yes, self-awareness. That's really good that Dr. Dre identifies that. But it made me think of a scenario. It's like I'm stressed because I've just been told I've got to maybe eliminate 5 people's jobs. So I'm going to come out to my team and say, I'm so stressed. I got to get rid of 5 of y'all. What am I going to do? Now I have put some unnecessary stress on my team, and they wondering, who's she gonna get rid of? Who's gonna stay? Or they might all quit, or who knows? But unduly stress on them. So I
Mhm.
don't think we need to always pass it on. We can be transparent enough to say, yes, there's a lot going on. We have to deal with that thing, but it's all in how you do it. And if you start ranting, raving, and screaming, I'm walking out right then. But anyway, with that said, Jacqueline, I have just enjoyed you so much, and listening to you, it made me think too a lot of Stephen Covey's sharpening the saw, things that people still need to remember. So I have absolutely enjoyed you. And again, I agree. We could have been on here for 3 hours or more just discussing this. It was great.
Thank
It was
you.
great.
Thank you. Thank you for
Yes,
having
thank
me.
you. Yes, thank you so much to my co-host, and certainly thank you, Jacqueline, for being with us and sharing your expertise with us. Uh, And I'll invite our listening audience to please continue to send in topics as well as questions to Leadership Matters questions at Innovisions, INNOVISIONS.org. And please join us every Wednesday at 2 p.m. on YouTube or download the podcast at your convenience. We drop new episodes every Thursday on Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, as well as Spotify. So until next time, keep on keeping on for the greater, making your leadership matter.